I was 13 years old the first time I stood on that street corner. I was cold. I was hungry. All I wanted to do was hide. I would have done anything to go invisible. How did I end up here? How did I end up here? I've exhausted all my options. Well, I could sell drugs for Benny to survive, but I'm not going to do that. So, here I am. But I'm not totally alone on the street either. My friends, April and Marcel, they're watching out for me. We stick together no matter what. Marcel thinks I have some kind of grand mission on my life. He's like, yo, Callie, you're going to do big things with your life one day. You just promise me, if anything ever happens to you out here, you're going to get back up and keep going no matter what. I used to think I was going to do something important with my life. My heart sunk when big Gina across the street started making a big scene. She's like, yo, skinny girl, I see your little friends around the corner watching out for you. Isn't that sweet? Newsflash. No one makes it off the street. That's the moment that I decided, no way. My life is up to me. I am totally going to make it off the street, and I'm going to do something important with my life, just like Marcel said. Don't ask me how I was going to do that. I was only 13. I have no job, no place to live, I have no skills. But somehow I knew I have something larger inside. I'm made for more. That night, I rented a motel room and brought home a big bucket of Kentucky Fried Chicken. Guess what? Guys, we get to sleep in a real bed tonight. April, no kicking. We didn't talk about how I got the money. If there's one rule on the street, it's you do whatever you need to do to survive. But we did talk about the future. And Marcel said, don't listen to Gina. She doesn't know what she's talking about. Callie, I believe in you. Cut to 1.5 years later. And yeah, I'm still on the street, but I'm doing a lot better. I'm hosting workshops every Thursday at the bus depot for street kids just like me, helping them find their way off the street. And I single-handedly rented a 3-bedroom house in Mission. I know what you're thinking. Who rents a 3-bedroom house to a scruffy 15-year-old street kid? That house was about to be condemned. But it was a roof over our heads. I lived there with April, Marcel, and even Gina. So things were looking really up for me. I didn't even have to go out and stand on that street corner very much anymore. But something wasn't quite right. My lungs kept collapsing. I would end up in the hospital. I was going to have surgery. Dr. Goldstein was really worried about me. He told me that, according to Chinese medicine, fear and shame attack the lungs. That made a lot of sense to me. Because if I was being honest with you, I would have told you I was terrified all the time. And now, I'm starting to doubt myself. I mean, how did I think I was going to do anything good with my life? How did I think I was going to get off the street? The real blow came, though, one morning when I got out of the hospital. My house was boarded up. I had no idea where April and Marcel were. Maybe Gina's right. Maybe no one makes it off the street. That night, I went back to the old house. I broke in because I needed a place to stay, but by 3 a.m, I was back in the hospital. I was almost 16 years old, and I just wanted to disappear. But that morning, there was sun coming through my hospital window. It was June, and I swear, I could hear Marcel's voice. Get up, Callie. Yo, get up. Keep going. And so I did. I didn't know what I was going to do next, but I knew my life was 100% up to me. I started asking everyday business people on the street to go for coffee with me. I know it doesn't seem like much, right? But for a 15-year-old street kid, it was kind of terrifying. I got a lot of rejections, but I made some amazing mentors. Like Paul. He was a computer scientist. He taught me math and English. And Karen, she was this beautiful nurse. She let me listen to Chopin in her apartment. I forgot how much I loved classical music. I started standing taller and hiding less. And the more that I started to use my voice on my own behalf, the more people naturally began to rally around me in my support. That's when I knew life was mirroring how I was showing up. That means I can change anything. I was 16 years old when I got the keys to my very first legit apartment. It was right across the street from the high school that I just registered myself in. And right around the corner from my first job. I was training to be a bank teller. Cut to 2022. I've dedicated over 2 decades of my career to leading high-impact businesses and companies that are making a real difference on this planet. And I have stepped into leadership successfully in highly political, and sorry guys, very male-dominated environments. But my journey wasn't easy. I lived with unbearable patterns of shame and lack of worth that were left over. I've experienced untenable amounts of fear, anxiety, and even PTSD. And at the height of my career success, as a powerful CEO in the boardroom, making big decisions, I would find myself dimming down, playing small, withholding my authentic voice. Who can relate to that? So I worked incredibly hard. I surrounded myself with the best mentors, teachers, and education I could find so I could cultivate the courage and the skills I needed to play a much bigger game in my life. And that's why today I'm dedicated to helping women, to helping all people step forward and own their voice and really show up, to take the risks we need to take to be seen and heard, to make a difference on this planet. Every single one of us has the power to author a new story, a story that releases us from old traumas, that frees us from patterns of shame, doubt, isolation, PTSD, anxiety, that hold us back from being all that we can be. It's my birthright. And my birthday. It's my birthright to shine bright and take up space. It's my birthright to be fully and authentically expressed, to find my voice, speak my truth, and give my greatest gifts to the world. It's my birthright, and it's yours too. And if I can do it, so can you, right? If I can do it, so can you. Thank you very much. We thank you so much.